Is the evaluation of your property correct? Is the work that somebody had done on your property providing you the correct values? Are the numbers that you're looking at seem in line with maybe what you feel your property value is? Well, my name is Justin Udy with Justin Udy and Team Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about the valuation process, the questions you need to ask, the process you need to follow, and how you can not only maximize your value to make sure your valuation is not only correct, but it's going to be spot on. Hey everybody, so one of the biggest questions that we have is people wonder, how are you valuing properties? Now this is going to be one of 3 videos for this reason. As we were preparing and putting together these videos, I found that it was going to be very long. So splitting it up into 3 videos, I'm going to recommend that you watch all 3 videos, and it'll give you a very thorough understanding of not only the valuation process that we go through and that I go through on every single piece of property, but also what you should be asking anytime you're looking at something. So the first item that we need to understand is, one, is we need to identify what the problem is. Identify what your needs are. You may be, I just want to sell this home and get into a new one. I had a family member pass away. This is for the estate. I need to understand what the value is. I'm looking to do a 1031 exchange. Actually I'm 3 months behind on payments and I've got to sell this. So there's different issues, different problems. So we have to share, and I would recommend be very transparent with the person that you're working with, because that comes to identify the purpose. Am I going to keep and hold this property? I just want to kind of know what the values are. Am I planning on selling it very quickly because I have to? Am I planning on doing something with this in 6 months? So the valuation today is going to maybe be different than tomorrow. Another item to consider when we're identifying kind of why you're selling is, what is the date that this is happening? Sometimes we've had folks where I've gone to the property and they said, I'm not selling for 6 months. What are the values? That is really hard, especially in a changing market, especially when it's subject to interest rates. If somebody's going to be carrying finances and they're going to have a super low rate, it kind of gives this flexibility of like, okay, I'm going to give probably a different value than somebody that says, well, I'm going to sell in 6 months to a year and I know interest rates may be up, might be down, whatever, whereas the affordability may not be there. So establishing a time frame is really important, and sharing your expectations with that appraiser, that agent, that person is also very, very, very important. You have to make sure you're giving very relevant information in regards to the characteristics of the property. That could be the land size, that could be the location, that could be identifying a number of just details in regards to the physical property, whether it be the neighbor next door that parks his cars on the front yard, or the power line that happens to sit above the house that maybe somebody isn't seeing, or that there's some easement that runs through the back of the property that nobody would ever see. So just relevant details in regards to the property. And then finally, what are we going to end up doing as far as the next step? Is there some additional details we need to be aware of that may change the value in the future, such as, hey, the HOA, every time you sell the property, they have to pay 1% to the HOA. Where there's a transfer fee of $3 to $4 to $5 to $10,000. So just some little details like that. So next is just deciding what work needs to be done. An appraiser will call this the scope of work. And so once we've identified the problem, now we got to decide, what are we actually going to solve here? And when we say, what are we going to solve? Have we established that this property has contaminated soil? Have we established that this property had an addition that was done illegally, or has an accessory building that actually shouldn't be there? Or have we established that the garage that was built on the property is so over the top that it's making the property super unique? So what this scope of work means is, it's like, okay, does that mean that this appraiser or this real estate agent or this real estate professional, what is the work that they're going to need to go next? In these scenarios, am I going to need to call the city? Am I going to need to make sure that on the title report, go a little bit deeper on what the easements say? Is it me making sure and door knocking or going and physically going to every single cell in the neighborhood to make sure that those homes are actually very similar because of the uniqueness of that property? Or is it just a matter of saying, look, the person's behind on payments, they've got to sell, and if they don't, they're going to lose all their profits. Where do we price it competitively so they don't lose it, so that we bring in the most buyers? So what is the work that needs to be done? So that's why I talk about that item. And then what I will tell you is now we have to apply a solution. Meaning, hey, let's decide what maybe the next steps are, because that is going to go ahead and take us to where we're going to start collecting data, start getting information, getting things. So what I'd like to do is I want you to think about these things. I want to make sure that you do watch the next 2 videos on the valuation process. Again, it's Justin Udy here. Looking forward to connecting with you soon. And hopefully these 2 steps will help you understand the beginning process of the valuation process. And the next, you'll get a very good understanding in regards to collecting data, how to properly collect it, where they should be looking, what they should be considering, and also that analysis of the data. It'll really help you as you're not only evaluating your own property, but also making sure somebody's doing it correctly for you. Talk to you soon. Thanks.